execute a great quality skin fade in less than 6 minutes. I want to mention, by the definition, we can say that the skin fade is the perfect blend between the three main shades: light, gray and dark shade. So to create a sharp looking fade, we need to have covered the full range of numbers from 000, which represent the lightest shade, to the number 2 or 2.5, which represents the darkest shade. Between the light and dark shades, we have the middle area, which represents the gray shade, where all those numbers that are between 000 and 2 must be blended together in order to obtain a great transition. Three most important aspects that we need to pay attention on: the density level, the shape, and the lifting level. It defines the aggressivity level of the fades. We have two levels of density. First, compressed fade, where the distance between the light and dark shade is very compressed. This thing gives an aggressive aspect to the fade. And second, we have the extended fade, where the distance between the light and dark shade is bigger, a thing that gives a lighter and more natural aspect for the fade. We have flat shape, which has, as the name is, a flat format. This shape is used mostly for high fades. Next, we have a curved shape, which gives a slightly arched format to the fade. This shape is used mostly for mid fades. And the last, we have drop shape or drop fade, as you may heard before, which builds a strong arch format for the fade. This shape is used mostly for mid and low fade. There is another shape that builds the burst fade, which is completely round, but this is a fade that it's only used for the mohawk hairstyle. In my opinion, is not a main type. Low fade, medium fade and high fade. Curved medium fade, same as you can have an extended curved medium fade, which by the way, this is what I'm about to execute next. As this technique implies only one guideline, thing that makes the entire work extremely fast by blending the full range of numbers between 000 and 2. Now, to reduce the time and get maximum speed, you need to eliminate as many numbers as possible by using the movement techniques instead of changing all the quads. Okay, to have a better flow through the numbers range, it's recommended to work with two clippers. One with fade blades and zero gap, and the second with taper blades without zero gap. In short, you need an aggressive clipper for sharp details and precision cut, and a soft clipper for connection and smooth blending. First thing I always do before I start the fading process is to prepare the areas and make them even all over the head. I do this using number 2 and 2.5 taper blades. I start cleaning the areas and connect them with the transition area. In my case, I don't have too much to clean because the hair is already short, but even like that, I'll still go over carefully to make sure I have an even length all over the head. Next, I will create the guideline. I do it the same with taper blades with no zero gap because I don't want to create an aggressive line that will be hard to blend after. Set the clipper to 0.25 and I start to create the line. To increase the precision, make sure you keep the clipper on an aggressive angle like this. As you can see here, I have a big distance between the scalp and blades. As much as you reduce this distance, you reduce the aggressivity of the clipper as well. This movement is also known as C motion, movement that we only use in the blending part of the fade. So for the guideline, we need precision, that's why I use the clipper with an aggressive angle. Don't worry, the line will still be smooth because we use a taper blade with no zero gap here. I'm moving to the back as well. I pay close attention to not go above the occipital bone to keep a nice proportion for the back area. I'm going for the other side. I pay attention to keep the symmetry between the sides. Okay, after I finish the guideline, I go immediately below with 0, but without touching the guideline. This is a very important step because it helps us prepare the area below the line for the trimmer, which will make the blending much easier. It's very important as well to not touch the guideline because you want to keep the length to 0.25. If you touch it with 0, then your line will be harder to blend. As you can see on the diagram, the clipper must exit on the red line. Here we're gonna use the clipper on a light angle so that we don't have too much pressure on the blades. Now at this point we basically divided the fading area in two parts. One area above the guideline and the second area below. What we have to do next is to blend these areas as quickly as possible. I will start with the area below, and first I will clean it with the trimmer. I will use the trimmer with C motion movement by having pressure only at the base and exit the trimmer when I touch the zone that I already cut it with 0. With the reverse movement I quickly blend the beard, prepare it for the fade. I go all around the head. Same, keeping the C motion movement with pressure at the base and release the pressure when I meet the 0 area. I pay close attention behind the ears to not left some hairs there, because this is very unprofessional. Quick trim for the beard as well. Next, I will use the shaver to obtain the 000, which is the smallest number. Same, I go all around the head, putting pressure only at the base, but not at the 00 area, paying attention to not touch the trimmer length. I'm moving all around the head. Again, paying attention behind the ears. Great, once we finish the area below the guideline, now we're gonna attack the area above. From the guideline, I will start with number 1, trying to blend straight on the number 2 area. The secret here is to move as fast as I can. Open the lever a bit to have a smooth transition. And I'm moving to the back area with same process. Now I use the second clipper with fade blades with 0 gap because I want to gain speed and precision to quickly finish this area. And on the other side, same, I try to move as fast as I can, but in the same time I make sure that I achieve the quality I want. Now the last part of the fading process is to completely blend the line. Here is where the magic happens. I bet you already see many times on Instagram video with barbers that blend this line in seconds. They were very viral. I'll explain how it works now. Because the guideline is 0.25 and I use tapered blades with no 0 gap to make it, now it gives me the possibility to use 0.609 with fade blades and 0 gap to easily blend it out and reach the number 1 area in the same time, things that increase the control and reduce the risk to break the fade. You can see now how easy the line is blending. Here I use a shorter sieve movement and I move as fast as I can. Normally, if you use just one clipper with one type of blades, this line can only be blended with 0.5, and because of this, the cutting is much more aggressive. That way, it's very hard to blend the guideline and attack the number 1 area in the same time, but working with 2 clippers with fade and taper blades completely changed the game. I use the corner for details. I am pretty happy with the first side. I'm moving to the back area. The same short sieve movement. It's not necessary to be perfect because in the end I will come again in the detailing part. To the other side, the same. Try to be as fast as possible, but in the same time to keep the quality. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now once the fading process is done, what I like to do is to take 1-2 more minutes to work on the details to maximum improve the sharpness. So for that I take a smaller number like 0 and 0.5, and with the corner of the blade I remove the lacquer spots or parts that look unfinished. Don't overcomplicate it here, this is just a quick finish to improve the fade. If you insist too much, there is a big chance to mess it up, so keep it simple. As you can see, I already did the shape up. On the back the same. Just with the corner. Nice and easy. On the other side the same. Again, don't overcomplicate it, keep it quick and easy. This is the result, a pretty good fade in 6 minutes, but an important thing is to be aware that the duration of this technique can be different depending on the haircut you